Imagine living in a world where the sun suddenly loses its power, not for a day, not for a week, but for more than a year. The sky turns gray, shadows vanish, the warmth of daylight fades into a cold, lifeless glow. In the year 536 AD, people across the world woke up to a nightmare they could not explain. The sun dimmed, the climate collapsed, and history entered what many scholars now call the worst year to be alive. This is not a legend, this is not mythology. This is a real global catastrophe that pushed humanity to the edge. From Europe to the Middle East, from China to Africa, people recorded the same terrifying event. The Byzantine historian Procopius wrote that the sun gave off its light, without brightness, like the moon. Chinese chronicles described yellow dust falling from the sky. Irish monks wrote of famine and endless cold. This was not local, this was planetary. For the first time in recorded history, the entire world seemed to suffer together, in silence. Summer arrived. But warmth did not. Temperatures dropped suddenly by several degrees. Frost covered fields that should have been green. In China, snow fell in August. In Europe, crops failed year after year. In Scandinavia, tree growth nearly stopped, a sign of extreme cold. Farmers watched helplessly as the land betrayed them. Seeds planted with hope never sprouted. The seasons themselves felt broken. Agriculture was the foundation of life in the 6th century. There were no food reserves, no global trade networks, no emergency aid. When crops failed, people starved. Immediately, grain prices exploded, bread disappeared, livestock died from lack of feed, entire communities vanished from history, leaving no trace except mass graves and abandoned villages. Famine spread slowly. Then all at once, parents fed children grass and bark. People boiled leather to survive. Some turned to acts they would never speak of again. In Ireland, years were recorded simply as years without bread. In the Byzantine Empire, hunger weakened armies and civilians alike. This was not hunger caused by war, this was hunger caused by the sky. Starvation weakens the body, cold weakens the spirit, and together, they invite disease. Just a few years after the darkness, the Justinian plague erupted. It killed tens of millions, possibly half the population of the Eastern Roman Empire. Rats, fleas, and sickness thrived in a weakened world. What nature began in 536. Disease finished. For centuries, no one knew what caused the darkness. Then modern science spoke. Ice cores drilled from Greenland and Antarctica revealed massive layers of volcanic ash. Tree rings showed years of almost no growth. The conclusion was chilling. A massive volcanic eruption, or multiple eruptions, blasted ash high into the atmosphere. The ash blocked sunlight worldwide. Earth entered a volcanic winter that lasted more than a decade. The disaster of 536 did not destroy empires overnight, it weakened them slowly, quietly, fatally. The Byzantine Empire struggled to defend its borders. Northern Europe descended into instability, migration increased, wars became deadlier. Some historians believe this catastrophe helped shape the world that followed, including the rise of new powers and the transformation of Europe. And yet, humanity survived. Years later, the skies cleared, sunlight returned, fields slowly came back to life. Those who lived through 536 AD carried scars their entire lives. But they endured. Civilization bent. But it did not break. 536 AD reminds us of a truth we often forget. Civilization is fragile, not because of kings, not because of wars, but because we live at the mercy of nature. The sun disappeared once, and when it did, the world nearly followed. History survived, so that we would remember. This is History Speaks with AI, where history comes alive. If you enjoyed this story, like, subscribe, and comment your next request. The past has many more secrets. See you in the next episode.